guys, we just finished recording this video, and let me tell you, you want to watch it. It's truly awesome. His mom, best realtor in Western Pennsylvania. We just called her off the cuff, gave us some serious knowledge, pros and cons about the industry, and it's something you don't want to miss.
Yeah, we named this video what you shouldn't, why you might not want to be a realtor, but she talked about pros and cons, so now we probably have to think of a new title for it. But seriously,
it's going to blow your mind.
It's going to blow your mind. Watch the whole thing. Hi, this is Leo.
I'm Diana.
And today we're actually going to be talking about 5 reasons why you might not want to get your real estate exam. Very different from what we're usually talking about, because obviously we help you prepare to get your real estate license.
But not all jobs are all sunshine and butterflies. Some have some cons, so that's what we're here to share with you today.
The reason why we're laughing there is because one of us is an idiot, and I was like, it's Guns N' Roses?
Guns N' Roses. I was like, I don't think that's how that goes.
I know. But anyways, so there are a lot of benefits to being a realtor. So, and most of the time people think about the money and the flexibility. I mean, when you were studying for
you nailed it. Yeah, right? I remember I was like, what can I do that will allow me to have free time, make my own schedule, but still make a good amount of money? Mm-hmm. And that was, let's be a realtor.
Yeah. And there's a lot of top rated agents that make over 6 and 7 figures. In fact, we're going to interview one of them today. I'm going to call up my mom without her knowing. And
it's going to be great.
Yeah. And see what she thinks of some of the drawbacks of being a realtor are. But, from watching her, it's hard to make a lot of money and also have a lot of flexibility. We'll
be at family dinner on Sunday nights, and we're lucky if she's sitting there with us for like more than 5 minutes. My phone's ringing. I got to take this call. So there's an exception.
And she has PTSD about mold, right? We've heard about mold, so that's the challenge, right? Because if you think about when people are trying to buy a house, it's usually when other people aren't working. They're not at their jobs, mm-hmm. right? So my mom is working during the day and during the evenings, right, because that's when...
So whenever I said you're kind of like on your own schedule, you're kind of really not, because your clients, like you just mentioned, when they're free, that's when you go.
Yeah. But to be fair, that's because that's the path that she chose, right? She wanted to become a high earner, and she has a team of roughly 15 people now. So she's got a lot of people that report to her and all that. So she took that path and has a little bit less flexibility. Growing up, it's interesting because, my friends mom was in real estate too, and they chose the opposite route. It was more of a lifestyle business, and, they made pretty good money. So just to kind of give you some expectations, the average real estate agent makes roughly $50,000 to $60,000. The lower 10% makes 30, and then you have your top 2% that can make a ton of money and everything in between. So it's really, what do you want? Do you want the flexibility, or do you want the money, right?
Comes down to dedication.
Yeah. And the other thing too that I think is a big misconception is that, maybe you'll be able to go out there and make a ton of money right away. But what is so impactful, and with my mom's business, is she has so many returning customers. You know how many houses she sells a year. Why don't you speak on that? I think you...
I didn't believe it when she told me this years ago, but it's around 368 to 70 houses in a year, when we all know there's only 365 days in a year. So you do the math.
So think about that. So think about that. When you get to that upper level, imagine all of those people that you're dealing with, the contracts you're writing. It's more than one a day. And if you think about that, that's including weekends. So, to be able to set, it's hard to set work-life balances from that perspective. And the other thing too is you're really an entrepreneur. People forget that, is that when you're a realtor, you really have your own business. You have your own QuickBooks. In fact, I've been helping my mom with that lately and setting up some of those systems. You have your own CRM. So there's a lot to it. So again, you just sort of have to decide, do you want to go which route, right?
Yeah. If you're just looking for a little bit of money and you just want to get out of the house and do something, you've got that flexibility, or if you're wanting to literally make a crap ton of money, you can do that too.
Yeah. And I think the other thing too to understand is that, I guess it really depends on where you live, right? Because maybe if you were living in Beverly Hills or something, you just have to sell one here.
Right.
What's that show that you like?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Selling Sunset.
Okay.
Oh, it's so good. And you sell one house a year, you're set, because they're $32 million home.
Right.
The commission on that alone's like, forget about it.
Yeah,
A
exactly.
lot. But I mean, or you live in Pittsburgh where you might have to sell 55 houses a year to make a decent living.
Yeah.
Just
And
depends.
and that brings up a good point. Think about how many people are competing for those Hills jobs, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing. So I would say just from my experience watching my mom, the number one most important thing with both passing your real estate exam and becoming successful is persistence.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you build up your clientele, and over time,
Repeats and
and that's the other thing too. So I didn't, mention this. So my mom has a lot of older friends that are, pretty much retirees, but they just take, their referral business and some of their best clients. So they actually do make a lot of money and have like a lifestyle business. Do you remember when we were at that one with the breakers for the one resort, and there's that one lady who sort of just kind of like, can you remember that?
I really can't right this second.
Well,
It'll dawn on me later. But
anyways, it's a certain point, when you retire.
oh, yes. I can't think of her name, but I know exactly.
Yeah.
She had like real short hair.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
super
know who
nice.
you're talking about. Yeah.
So she more had a lifestyle business because at that point she built up her business, and they just came to her. She didn't have to do any lead generation or anything like that. So at this point, should we give my mom a call?
Let's give her a ring. Why not? I mean, she may not answer because she's the busiest realtor and human being I've ever met.
Yeah.
But we could try.
Yeah.
And if she doesn't, she doesn't.
So those are all the big cons, right? And the expectations, the work-life balance and understanding, do you want to take the money path or do you want to take the work-life balance path? But let's see what mom says.
Hopefully she'll answer.
Yeah, hopefully this will.
If not, I'm
work
sure
out.
by the end of this video, she'll call us back.
Yeah. All right. This is going to be funny. Oh, you've got a...
It's okay.
Hey, Mom. Hey, you're live on YouTube. If sorry, I thought if you could take 2 minutes and just talk about maybe some of the pros and cons of being a realtor, would that be okay?
Sure.
Okay. So yeah. So what would you say are maybe the top 2 or 3 pros and maybe some of the top cons of being a realtor?
Is it going to be okay if I put this on speakerphone?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. So ask me the question again. I'm so sorry.
Sure, no worries. Yeah, I kind of just hit you out of nowhere. You know what? This is a cons video, so why don't you tell us some of the top negatives of being a real estate agent that maybe some people haven't thought about?
Well, the top negatives about being a realtor, probably the 2 things I hear from my team members are you have to work when other people are off work, which means you have to be available evenings and weekends. And sometimes, that gets to be old or hard when you want to be home with your family or spouse at that time.
Right. And we did mention that, and that's one of those ones because we see how hard you have to work, and obviously, you have to work when other people aren't.
Yes. One of the other things that's very difficult is if you're just starting out, you need to have some savings or a budget or a spouse who's working.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
Even if you sell a house day one, you're probably not going to get your first paycheck till day 45.
That's a good point.
You have to be prepared for that.
Okay. See, this is why we call her, because she has all these insightful things that we can't think about. And anything else, Mom?
Well, and you also, the biggest problem for new realtors is that they can't keep their business consistent. And that's why a lot of people join a team, because what happens is a young realtor, they do really well, they get 2 or 3 sales, and then they're so busy with home inspection, mortgage, appraisal, keeping that particular sale together, that they're not prospecting for new business. So they have the up and down of the income.
I see. That makes a lot of sense. So you got to always be prospecting, but it's really hard when you're just a one person trying to, grow your business and then deal with the contracts and all that stuff, right?
Absolutely. And that's why we always like keep pushing our team members every week. Okay, this is happening now. You have to continually do this. Yes, you might be busy now, but you need to make your phone calls every day. You need to send out your just sold. Otherwise, 2 months from now, you're not going to have any money coming in.
Wow.
No, that's great. Perfect. Okay. Well, I don't want to hold you up too long because I know you're super busy. What about some positive things about being a realtor, or any final words for the audience?
Well, oh, absolutely. There's so many positives. Um, your income is limitless. And what I mean is you get what you put in out. So if you're a really hard worker and just stay at it, you can make a terrific income. Um, Secondly, you make a lot of really good relationships with your customers. You're helping them make one of the largest decisions possibly in their life, and you become a trusted advisor to those families or people, and that's really
It gave me
important.
goosebumps.
And you just get to. It's not the same every day, which could be a good thing or a bad thing, because there's never a day, even though I've been doing this for 33 years, that I don't learn something new, because there's never any 2 days that are the same in real estate.
Wow.
Oh, that's great. Perfect, Mom. As always, you exceed
Oh my gosh,
expectations.
that was so well said, Geej.
We
Well,
call it
thank you.
our our
Thank
our
you guys.
yeah, our kid calls her Gigi, if you're wondering. So, okay, Mom, love you. Thank you.
Love
Love you
you.
guys too.
All
Good
right,
luck.
all right, thanks.
Bye.
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 Well,
Wow.
well, there you have
I
it. So,
she's amazing, isn't
yeah,
she?
she is.
And we hope that that just taught you so much,
Yeah.
because has so much experience. She's been doing it forever.
Right, right. So she obviously loves her job, and yeah, I don't know what else to say after that. I can't
I don't
top
think we
that.
can.
So,
It's like,
yeah. So at
I'm
that end,
stunned.
yeah. So with that being said, we'll leave it there. I think we're probably going to have her in person at some point, right?
Definitely. I
Um,
think y'all probably want to meet her at this point.
and the other thing too is, if you actually are in the Pittsburgh area, I mean, she's always growing her team. So maybe even you could join up with her. So, anyways, have a wonderful rest of your week, and we'll see you next week. Okay. All
Bye.
right. Bye.